yeah, you just wouldn't know where to look. And it has been very mysterious, that online payments sector. Really mysterious. I think sometimes people just like to keep it like that because someone's making a lot of money there.
Yeah.
A lot of money. You know, I think what drove me to become the card machine queen initially was looking at how much of people's profit really was just going to the big banks and these companies. So it was a case of a one-woman mission to reduce everybody's rates and the improved hardware and everything sort of came secondary.
Welcome to the Ledger Lounge. We've got Katie here with us.
Hi, everyone.
And today we're in the presence of royalty. We've got Zoe, the card machine queen.
Hello.
Today we thought we'd have a bit of a chat and understand the card industry, which seems to have boomed over the last few years. I think at one time it was just purely banks that were providing card machines, and then now we've got so much choice. Hopefully Zoe can give us some insight into the industry and how we can help our businesses get better deals, pay less, make more money, give better service. First of all, how did you end up being the card machine queen? Was it a coronation? Was it were you born into it?
Yeah. It was accidental. So I was looking for something else to do just at the start of COVID, really, early 2020. And I saw an advert for an independent payment consultant on Indeed. So we were doing property, me and my husband, and once they're all rented, they're rented. So I was looking for something else to sort of fill a bit of time, part-time, and saw this and ended up joining this webinar and joining a company called Dojo, which is where I learned a bit about the payments industry. And I was very new to it then. And in COVID, it was really tricky to go out and see businesses because you had to have the masks on and but we all got there, and it was self-employed as a role, but with the backing of the big company. So that's how I got into it. And then after about 18 months there, I thought, this could be done a little bit better, and there are other better companies there. So I went purely independent.
Ah, right. So without the backing of that major brand, because that's a big brand, isn't it, across? Yeah. I think when I said before about the banks, that was almost like one of the first ones that you noticed, these are different machines to the usual streamline machine that you used to get from NatWest or whoever it was.
The first smart terminals, because previously there were all the buttons and connected. They weren't mobile, you couldn't move them around. People were waiting 5 working days for the money, the rates were really high, and it was really mysterious as a sector on how you actually got a card machine, and I think they had the heyday really then. People were getting really, really high commissions for really bad machines. So Dojo really did come along and interrupt the market with the first smart terminals. Everybody's followed since. But yeah, it was good to learn from them.
It's amazing how many businesses started in COVID or seemed to kick off just before COVID and then ended up having to immediately adapt to that, and it probably made them stronger in the long run. And we were talking to Steve the other week from SciSec Professionals. I think he'd started his business just before COVID as well. It creates these online models that we're seeing now, or these more remote models. Everything
did get a lot quicker, didn't it? We had to adapt to being more remote, and with the smart terminals, you didn't have to physically be on site to switch them on. You could do them over the phone. I mean, I always have been on site to switch them on, but DPD carried them out. You literally plug, play, do a few little bits in the menu and you're away. So it was just such a big difference to what people had been used to. Quicker, smarter. But yeah, that was how I started in the industry.
So how has card machines evolved over the last 5 years?
So people, as consumers, we want things a lot quicker. We want to be able to pay a lot quicker. And business owners want their money a lot quicker. So that's definitely how it's evolved. And also, you've got payment links now. Yeah. So say if you've got an independent hairdresser that has to block out a 4-hour appointment for a hair colour, rather than risk somebody not turning up, they can send a payment link, which can be email or text message, to take a deposit for that appointment.
Right.
And that secures that. And it just helps really that business owner not miss out on an appointment. Yeah. So that's just one example. But also, card machines used to be just a tool to take a payment, but they're actually, I keep saying this now, they're tools to run business. If you've got the right card machine or EPOS, all the back office stuff, you can tell exactly. If you run a bistro or a cafe, you can tell what your best-selling product is by the hour.
We've done it for one of our clients, and we found that quite interesting, looking at the background.
Yes.
Well, I have at least. Going, oh, they've sold this week. Whereas when you used to get Streamline, it was just a transaction amount, less the fees, paid into the bank 5 days later.
Yeah.
You didn't really know unless you went to the till and got a Z read, which they're about that big, aren't they, usually for one day? And you're like, I'm not reading that.
That comes well on a podcast, that.
Huge. Reels of paper. Wasted
Reels of
paper.
yeah.
It's actually really interesting because business owners don't know that information.
Yeah.
That you're just so busy running the business that you could think, well, that's my best-selling product, but you just don't know. So it helps stock levels, wastage, staffing, holidays,
as well,
decision-making. Yeah. It's crucial, really, I think, to have something like that in your business now.
Yeah.
But
So when you say staff levels, how does the card machine help the small business?
So when you look at your sales, you can do it by hour. So you can say, right, between 6 and 9 on a Thursday, for some random reason, there might be a market on or something, we need an extra 2 staff because the sales are tripled, or, information like that. That you just, it's proactive looking at that rather than reactive. And as we know in a business, when you're doing your business reactively, you never get in front, do you? You never, the business is running you as opposed to you running it. So I always suggest other options, rather than just a card machine. That's why I will assess with somebody what they actually need, offer some suggestions with EPOS systems, such as giving us all the information. And then people never look back from that because that information is really crucial.
They probably didn't realise that they needed that information beforehand either until they can see it and they think, wow, why didn't we have this?
Yeah.
The management would have to be on site, wouldn't they? I remember many, many years ago, we had a client who had 2 pubs. I think it was in Ashton Town Centre. And Ashton at the time was really, really busy. And there was almost a run of pubs that everybody went into this pub and then moved on. And by the end of the evening, ended up at another pub at the far end of this run. And so he'd be doing this manually because he wouldn't have that data, but he'd be going, well, my pub's empty now, I don't need staff here. And he'd move them across. So they'd start the night working in one pub and you'd see them again.
Yeah.
Same principle, isn't it, I suppose, but now you've got the technology to do it.
Yeah, and people can just look on the phone. There's I think there are serial entrepreneurs, and once you open one business, then you might get another and another. And, I know people that have got 6, 7, 8 pubs and everything is on their mobile.
Yeah.
So,
Running
rather than a computer in the back room next to the safe that you had to log into.
That's
That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could literally, people don't want to work on the holiday, but actually it gives you more peace of mind knowing that if you are on a holiday, you can just log on,
you can
have a quick look. Everything's working fine. And that's it's freedom for a business owner and peace of mind.
Flexibility. Because that's what everybody who's self-employed sets off to be self-employed, to have this extra quality of life, don't they?
Yeah.
Being able to work when you want.
Yeah.
And I think we said before, I'm not sure it ever works out that way because you just get busy, don't you? And you just fill your time with your self-employed work anyway. But
they do when they work with me, you see.
Of course,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next then? If that's the last 5 years, and we've seen this huge transition from the banks being the only payment providers, and now you've got all various smart terminals.
Yeah.
What's next?
It's changing rapidly. So we're using now AI to load menus, which is, you could have thousands of products and different categories and different modifiers and things like that. So AI is being used to load menus. Online payments, e-commerce is going to be big as we purchase things a lot more online. Even your sort of small coffee shop might then go to sell coffee online or items online. So that's going to be big. There's new card machines coming out all the time, but apps as well, turning your phone into a card machine. People have been doing that for quite a while now. Again, I think we're in a very strange scenario where you've got some people that are still insisting on paying by card on a physical terminal, and then others that are adapting these new ways by paying on a phone with their watch. Some people really insisting on printing out receipts and others just don't want receipts. So it's everybody's at different stages. We are slowly moving on, but everyone's at different stages. So it's just a case of making sure that I can think of the right products for that person. But everything's getting faster. More online, links, wallets, that kind of thing, online wallets, payments. Yeah.
So you sit down with a business, scope out their business and where they might need a card machine or, like you said, the online payments.
Yeah.
So you do online payments as well as card machines?
I do, yeah. They're usually bigger companies, and what you find is with a bigger company that's got an online payment gateway, they've had that since the web developer put it on the website. So it's like no one, with card machines, someone's always going to knock on the door and say, can I review your rates? They never do that with e-commerce. So the rates can be quite high. They might be creeping up a little bit.
Yeah.
They're always higher than a face-to-face payment because the risk is higher. But I definitely need to get more into that market because there's a lot of money goes through online.
Yeah, we saw in our business, online retailers, some are really successful now and taking millions of pounds, and it's all online payments.
Yeah.
It's all card payments effectively, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
there's not that many online payments companies. Stripe is a huge one.
Yeah.
That gets expensive once you start taking over 10k a month online.
Okay.
That gets really expensive. But again, you would just leave it because it works. Everyone's a little bit scared about the online stuff.
Yeah.
We're just not sure it works. Put it in the basket, check it out, it's fine. So I'll be tapping into that a little bit more probably in the new year, definitely.
Yeah. We see that so Xero has a marketplace. So we use Xero, is predominantly the accounting software that we use. In there's a marketplace. So we use Stripe in the office for payments. We use Stripe and Go Cardless are our two main payment providers. I don't know whether I've seen any others within the marketplace to give that competition. So it might be that the marketplace needs updating as well.
Yeah.
To bring in these new players, if there are better options or other options.
You will do soon.
To be continued.
To be continued, yeah. So I have, I work with a company that are about to launch an e-commerce platform, which will potentially hit into all those Stripe customers. And it's about making it more accessible, like you say, for people, because people just automatically go to Stripe. Web developers just stick Stripe on. We know how easy it is to use, but do they know there's another option out there? No, not yet.
I bet a lot of people don't. If it's like a business startup, they just probably presume that it's the only one or it's the best one for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they'll think.
I think maybe some of that's our fault as well, because we'll have just accepted what's in front of us and not looked at the wider market because, again, as you say, it's easy.
Mm-hmm. But we're not the queen.
Well, you wouldn't know where to look, though.
We're mere paupers in the card machine world.
Come into my kingdom. You just wouldn't know where to look. And it has been very mysterious, that online payments sector. Really mysterious. I think sometimes people just like to keep it like that because someone's making a lot of money there.
Yeah.
A lot of money. I think what drove me to become the card machine queen initially was looking at how much of people's profit really was just going to the big banks and these companies. So it was a case of a one-woman mission to reduce everybody's rates and the improved hardware and everything sort of came secondary. But yeah, the e-commerce is definitely my next mission.
A couple of weeks ago, we were talking with Steve Cockcroft from SciSec Professionals, and we were talking about digital trust and the more online payments that are taken, the market demands that security, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to sell anything as a retailer online if you're using a platform or a payment provider that hasn't got the right credentials. As a retailer, what would you be looking for that's going to enable people to have confidence in your payment platform?
All providers have to be PCI compliant or make sure that their merchants are PCI compliant. So some include that as part of their agreement. And when I'm doing some on a contract, I will tell them whether it's part of the agreement or if it's a questionnaire that we need to complete after. If it's a questionnaire that you need to complete after you're onboarded, you get an email just to say, do your PCI compliance. And very few people do that. Very few, because again, once it's set up and working, people really don't come back to it.
Yeah.
They'll get email, and just think, oh, what is it? Then they might even log in and look at a few questions and get bored because they think it's not, it doesn't really identify with their business because it's talking about IP addresses or whatever. But it's really important that that is done, because if there is a data breach, they are liable for it. So it could cost a company a lot of money. And also, so PCI compliance, if it is separate from the provider, it's like $4.99 or £5 a month. So it's not a lot. But if you don't tick that box and answer those questions, it can be £70 a month to be non-compliant.
That was always a bugbear of mine when I was in the days when you were dealing with the banks, and PCI compliance was a line item on the bill every month. Do the compliance piece and save yourself, I think it was 20, 25 quid a month at the time. It's now £70 a month, is it?
To be non-compliant, it can be. And they'll still charge you to be compliant and non-compliant, which is amazing.
Okay.
You can be compliant
and non-compliant.
Nice business model, right?
Yeah, and there's some really scary stories about data breaches, but, absolutely not one of my customers is non-compliant. So a lot of the companies that are coming along now include it. So they're compliant on behalf of the merchant.
Yeah.
So it's easy. They are their own acquirer. It's all above board, and they're all FCA checked and everything. So, But I don't think you would find a payment provider that's not got those checks and balances. But it is. If PCI compliance is separate, it's really important for the merchants to do that.
And is that the only compliance piece that they need to do to sort of maintain that security?
Yeah, so when they're being onboarded.
That's like an overarching, covers everything.
Covers everything, yeah. Yeah. When they're being onboarded, there's certain checks, like anti-money laundering checks that the companies do. They check that the business is a real business, because we get so many people trying to set up card machines to launder money. It's unbelievable how many times I get contacted. They're easy to spot. They want to deal with everything on WhatsApp. They want everything. They can't. There's no physical space. They just want it now. They're not interested in the rate. So for me, it's easy. But for someone who's new to the industry, they would probably get excited about a quick deal and just do it. So it's really important that the providers are responsible in that way and do all those anti-money laundering checks. So that's those two. And then online, you've got all your two-factor authentication, and they're all included.
And is there a big badge that says PCI compliance?
Yeah, they've got the FCA regulate them, and they have to have that.
And you'd see that on a website.
You would do, yeah.
Sorry, it got me when you said non-businesses are setting up card machines to launder money.
So many.
What's next?
Yeah. Oh, it's rife, and I would say earlier this year there was a group in the Northwest. I think it was in the news, but there's a certain group in the Northwest that were going around contacting a lot of mine and my friends in the industry, trying to get card machines, and it's rife.
Wow.
But then when we're trying to onboard a business that we know is legitimate, and the provider's asking for, well, can you give us a bill that's dated the last 3 months that's got the company name on with the address? Sometimes they get a bit tetchy that you're asking for that. Well, why? Because, they know it's a legitimate business, but these are the checks and balances that are in place on purpose to stop the baddies getting through.
Yeah. So I suppose it's the same as us when we're engaging clients, isn't it? We have to get client identification, and people sometimes ask why.
Yeah.
But I think it's more throughout society now. We're asked it all the time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Even going withdrawing, when you're exchanging currency.
Yeah.
They want your ID now, don't they, to check if it's over a certain amount.
Well, I had a
take
funny
cash
one.
on holiday?
No, I don't. Well, I don't. I don't even take my card. Kurt does.
Old school. Yeah, I had a funny one this week. So there was a customer that needed to change the bank details. And the provider come back to me and said, yeah, absolutely. They just need to send us a picture of them holding up their ID and 3 fingers. So I was laughing, and the guy said, is this a wind-up? Because I've never had to do this before. And I said, no, it's deadly serious, because AI can't pick up fingers, apparently.
Right.
So he sent it through, and you could see he was literally laughing to himself. But yeah, that's the word on the street. So AI can't pick up, or I don't know if it's any fingers or 3 fingers, but that's the way that they're doing it now, to check that it's actually the merchant that's requesting it. Because as you can imagine, some people might go, oh, well, that's a nice juicy business. I'll change the bank details and put it into mine.
Yeah.
It never ends, this, does it?
You've got to keep right on top of it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Always one step ahead.
Yeah,
or
and
hopefully one step ahead.
That's why I always say I only work with the best providers, because they are one step ahead. They are putting these things in place. Only the week before last, there was a very prominent provider got closed down within, I think it was an hour. Everything was on the social medias. We have ceased trading. They lost the licence.
Wow.
Through something to do with these compliance things.
Yeah.
They were shut down.
So it can happen quite quickly then, and then
it was instant. You have stopped trading.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, all the businesses that had their card machines couldn't take any
I
payments.
was just about to say that. It's not just affected them, has it? It's affected hundreds of people.
Yeah. I got a load of inquiries that week. But yeah, it's volatile, and we just have to make sure that we're on top of it.
Yeah. Do you think cash is just going to disappear eventually?
I don't like to think so, because
some people still like to pay with cash.
Yeah.
Even people that I know now, like, will only pay in cash. I don't know why.
I know there's people I speak to, and some people get really uppity about as if they're having their human rights violated by not having cash.
I was going to say, I don't think it's about the cash. I think it becomes about something else. It becomes about the control, and, you know, you see things on social media about people sharing things saying, well, once they can shut off your bank card and only let you spend your money in a certain district or whatever. And I don't know, you've got conspiracy theories, haven't you? But
I suppose if they shut your bank card off, you can't get cash out of the hole in the wall, though, so you're not going to have to spend it anyway.
I think people forget that the cash is run by the government as well. You know, they control how many £20 notes or £10 notes, or if there's £50 notes. So I think somewhere along the line, it's people just getting a little bit confused about, you know, they're worrying about the control. It's not about the cash.
I think on social media, I've seen articles where they say your £10 suddenly becomes £3.75 because almost like the government have had it all. Or and actually, no, you can still go either you can buy £10 worth of goods with a card, and you can buy £10 of goods with a £10 note, can't you? So it's still valued the same. And I think that you're right. I think there is a lot of conspiracy theories going on. Yeah.
I mean, you put cash under your bed for a year and that's lost money.
Yes.
You know, my kids have got their cash tin things that they don't like spending, funnily enough. They always get me to buy. But, you know, I like that they've got cash and they can count it and they can see the value of money. Like they can touch it and feel it. That's what they need. But it's been sat there, and in all honesty, it's lost about 40% since it's been sat there. So I need to get spending it.
You do,
need to get them to invest it.
It was always nice to receive cash in your cards when you were a kid. Like, can you imagine just getting a prepaid card in your card or whatever from your granny?
I know, it's just not the same, is it? When you've got,
it's even worse if there's nothing in it and you're like, oh, thanks for the card.
Well, the money must have fallen out.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Yeah, it's all a bit distant in it, but I do like the fact that we've still got cash.
Yeah.
I think we need it. But I do understand some businesses that want to go cashless as well, because, you know, there's theft goes on, and when they are not in the business every day, they can just look on their apps. It's all gone to the bank. They pay a percentage. It goes to the bank. And actually, someone told me that, you know, the people that collect the cash at the end of the week with the helmets, is it G4?
Oh, yeah.
G4.
Oh, yeah.
They got the helmets on. So before COVID, they used to be £70. I don't know if it was £70 a month. They'd come and collect all the money and put it in the bank or wherever. And then as COVID started, that increased to £340 a month.
To come and collect.
To come and collect the money.
Right.
So no wonder businesses were going, well, I'd rather pay 1 or whatever % on my card fees, and it really is in the bank. I'm not worried about someone coming collecting it. So that's all fed into that, really. So I know some people boycott businesses that go cashless, but people have their own reasons for doing it. And
there's more control, I suppose, isn't there, for the ones that have gone cashless?
The number of times that we've heard stories, and you cringe when you hear it, and that clients have gone to the bank, and the only banks these days are in town centres. So it's like, if they've got cash to bank from a pub or a restaurant or whatever, then they've got money that they're taking across a town centre.
Yeah.
Under the coat.
Under the coat,
yeah. And people see that. They see you going at the same time, from the same place to the bank. You know, people are not stupid.
That's right.
It's just risky. So I can completely understand why people go cashless.
Yes. Yeah. I think a few weeks ago, or a few months ago now, you put a card machine into a client of ours. I think it was just before the busiest weekend of the year for them, wasn't it? And I think
the bank contest.
it was, wasn't it? Yeah. And they were saying how amazing it was that they had machines. I think their takings were higher, significantly higher than they would have made in the previous years, because they could just serve more people because they weren't having to queue for behind the bar. They didn't have to queue for the till.
Yeah. It's amazing the effect that something like that has on something, because you when you're at a bar yourself and it's going round and they go, just wait, that times however many people in a really busy weekend, and it's stressful for the staff because they need to serve the next person, and the customers are half drunk, so sometimes they're like, one really obvious one for me was a bar it had upstairs and downstairs. I'd been in this bar before and they had one card machine. They were up and down the stairs with this card machine.
That'd keep you fit.
Get your steps in. So when I actually come to look at these card machines, I recommended one upstairs, one downstairs, obviously. It was like £20 a month extra, plus VAT. And he said, no. I said, I've been in this bar at weekend, I've seen. So I said, go on, just try it. £900 that weekend more they made.
Wow.
Yeah, because they probably
spending 20 quid.
Didn't realise that they
You
lost.
didn't just send all your friends in, did you?
yeah, please go in here. I need to prove a point.
I was shocked at that.
Yeah.
So, it's just...
People don't, like you said it before, people don't like waiting.
No.
To pay. There's nothing worse than being at a restaurant and asking for the bill, and then it takes them 40 minutes to come over because they've got one card machine and it's at the bar usually, isn't it?
Yeah. And table service as well, that's another good one. You can put software on the actual card machines. They can go send the order to the kitchen or to the bar and take the payment.
Yeah. We had a client who did that, didn't they? They were using the card machine instead of scribbling on a notepad.
As a till.
Yeah, he sent a chitty into the kitchen for the chef to start cooking, and there was a bar tab, whatever it was. Yeah, I remember that now.
It kind of did a full circle when Matthew mentioned the card machine for one of our clients, because I still used to have to download the take-ins every week, every month. And then they got the new card machine and it just goes straight into our system and I don't even have to download anything anymore.
Oh, that was I remember you pointed, yes, that was really...
I just remember thinking, this is brilliant.
Well, it just saves everybody so much time. It's just wasted time.
And again, it's decision-making. If you see something instantly, it's only going to have happened the day before and you can see it the day after, on the system. Yeah. You can talk to the client.
Yeah. But I think this particular one as well, when you've got even the old EPOS, talking about how it's already moved on, the clunky EPOS systems that people are still actually investing in now. If you want to update your pricing or add a product or anything like that, you've got to sort of raise a ticket, send it through, and then they have to do it. Right. But a lot of them now are cloud-based, so the actual business owner or a manager can just update it from the phone, sync the machines, it's done. So it's all about speed. The providers are just they're having a race to get the fastest and the quickest and the best and the cheapest and not the cheapest but the fairest price, because you can't have amazing security, amazing customer services, amazing hardware and be the cheapest. It's just never gonna happen. But it's being the fairest for what you get. So
Business finance is always a big issue. Business finance is, I'm going to say bollocks.
And then he'll have to cut it out. Beep.
So in any business, you've got to finance your business.
Yep.
So whether you're buying stock, whether you're servicing debtors, and I think card payments can help there, can't they? You can tap into sources of finance there. How does that work?
Yeah. So you can they can't call it a loan. It's flexible business funding. So as you've started to use the card machine, the provider is fully aware of all the sales going through your card machine. So usually if you take a typical month, times it by sort of one and a half, they will give you that money to that value to pay off over the next, it's like short term, so 4 to 9 months, usually about 6 months. And then it's sort of in the background, they open up another account in the background. So your daily sales goes through the bank into that temporary one. They take their fee. It's usually around about 10, 15, 20% of your daily sales.
To repay the advance.
To repay it, yeah. So it's expensive, but it's really, really useful because you don't have to start putting a business plan together and sending it to the bank. It's quick. It can be in your bank account. Once you've done the agreement, it can be in your bank account within a day or two. And you can just be paying it off. Loads of people use it. Like now, it's October, the lead up to Christmas. Buying stock, doing decorations, anything like that. It's really, really popular. So I do a lot of business funding from now up until Christmas. And, you know, it's flexible, it's quick, and it helps people out of a tax as well. Sometimes people use it for that. You don't have to say what it's for.
Okay.
Like with a bank, you would probably have to say, I'm using it for X, Y, and Z. You don't. It's just, this is what I need, this is how much I need, and yes, I'll pay this much back, and then there you go. So
it helps you smooth out the peaks and troughs of your business finances.
Yeah.
So if you're gearing up for Christmas.
Yeah, and then once you've had funding approved and paid it off, you can just apply again and again and again. And it's just, like I say, it just helps those in-between bits that you might be struggling. But a lot of my customers use it for, like, if they're opening a new venue. That's a big chunk. So they'll take it out of that. And then open a new venue. Get your funding in now, guys.
Contact Zoe.
Yeah. So Zoe, that's really interesting. Learned a lot about card machines. How do we find you?
All my details are on my website. So that's www.cardmachinequeen.co.uk. I have Facebook, it's Card Machine Queen, and I have Instagram as well. And I'm also on LinkedIn as Zoe Bordiuk. But yeah, all my details are on the website, and I've got some little videos on there, some case studies, and that would be the best place to start. But yeah, if people could follow me, that would be great.
Like and follow.
Like, follow and share.
The Ledger Lounge is brought to you by James Scott Accountants in Oldham, Greater Manchester. Please like, rate and subscribe wherever you listen to the show. To find out how James Scott can help you build a better business, visit jamesscott.com. This podcast is a QPod production. Visit kupod.co.uk for more information.